We continue on the Pontiac GMC Halftime Report. Jason Jackson alongside the man of the day. It's Keith Askins Day here in American Airlines Arena. Coach, we'll talk about your time with the organization in a minute. First, about this game. How great is it to see guys like Earl Barron and Darrell Wright helping out in this effort in the first half? Well,
they get paid on the 1st and 15th like everyone else here. And they have worked hard to get themselves ready to play when their name is called. And that's a credit to their professionalism. They come in early every day, or when, Darrell wasn't in rotation, getting in early, getting his shots up, and really learning how to be a true pro. And for Earl, it's been 2 years waiting to get his name called, and he was ready tonight. Let's see if he'll be ready the second half.
We'll take a peek at it. Coach, let's talk about your time with this organization this morning. Coach Riley said you embodied everything he would want in a Heat player, Heat employee, an organization, lifer. How does that feel?
You know what? It's an honor for him to say that about me. I've only been on 3 teams my entire life, coming from high school, college, and the pros here in Miami. And, I feel like I'm a Heat man for life. I have it in no other way. I enjoy the city. I enjoy the friends that I have off the basketball court, as well as I enjoy meeting new young men and coming in and trying to help them not only be a good basketball player, but a better person and really understand what being a true man is all about.
And in my second tour of duty here in Miami, it's an absolute pleasure to be with you again, my friend.
Right on, brother.
Congratulations
right
on tonight,
on.
without a doubt. And with that right on, we're going to head right on back out to 2 guys who have been with this man for a good part of 20 years, Eric Reed and Tony Fiorentino.
Thank you very much, Jason. We both are big fans of Keith Askins. 17 years in the organization, Coach. He was on 3 different Atlantic Division champions. He's more than a player, more than a coach. He is an ambassador of basketball here in South Florida, and Coach, one of only 2 players to ever wear the number 2 in Miami. We probably won't see the number 2 on anybody else again. Rory Sparrow wore it first. Keith Askins wore it second and last.
Eric, I don't have children, but if I did, I'd want them to be just like Keith Askins. Everything Pat Riley said about him comes from the heart. I had the opportunity to work with him most of his career, and now seeing him grow as a coach, outstanding human being, a great teacher, and as you said, a guy that's been a lifer for him here in this organization. 18 years with the Miami Heat.
Really the perfect type of player to go in the coaching, because it wasn't great skill that got him where he was. It was attention to every detail, outworking the opposition, coming to work every day, getting better himself as a player from assistant coaches like Tony Fiorentino and Dave Vole in the early years, Pat Riley's staff, and all the coaches that went into helping Keith Askins to his 9-year playing career. But, Coach, he's done a great job ever since the day he stepped off the Alabama campus and came to Miami. You found out an interesting story about Keith at pregame tonight, about the only other team that brought him in for a workout after his senior season at Alabama.
Yeah, Utah. We didn't know that about him. People, you bring in players before the draft. They're probably looking at him as being a 2nd, 3rd round draft back then, because that's how many drafts. There was a lot of picks in 1990 when he was drafted. And we asked Jerry Sloan about Jerry Sloan. I think we made a mistake. We should have pursued Keith Askins.
Second half is underway with Ricky Davis starting and Shaquille O'Neal batting in the alley-oop. 12 points for Shaq. They also give him a rebound on that. So 12 points for Shaq. No rebound there. 6 for 10 shooting for O'Neal. And the Heat now with their largest lead of the game as we open this 3rd quarter. Miami has equaled their 10-point lead. Earl Barron, 13 points in the 2nd quarter on 5 for 6 shooting. That's why he's the subject of your Pontiac GMC shot chart. He goes 5 for 6 and spread it around well in his 11 minutes of playing time.
How about Keith's approach when Jason Jackson asked him about it? He goes, hey, he gets paid on the 1st and the 15th. He gets paid to be ready to play. Showed his professionalism, was ready and produced.
Now, Shaquille O'Neal, Coach, what he's done tonight on the offensive board has been magnificent to watch. He already has 6 offensive rebounds, 14 points for the night, and 9 overall rebounds. The lead is now a game-high 12. And white shirts on the rebound. It's Haslem for Miami with his 6th rebound. Coach, in that first half, Carlos Boozer, the all-star for Utah, was scoreless on 0 for 7 shooting.
Good job by all the Heat players. No one player stops a good player in this league. It's got to be a committee-type thing. Shaq gets the ball into Udonis. He gets the shot blocked. He stays with the play and finishes. And the Heat go